morning.
How you doing, sir?
Great. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, sir. How
My
are
name's
you?
Caven.
Nice to
I
meet you,
will
sir.
be your technician today, so we're going to do our lawn analysis and everything
Yes, sir.
for you. Overall, just to start off with, do you have any expectations or any goals in mind that you'd like to reach this year? Or any problem areas on the lawn that you'd like to turn around?
Actually, I was thinking and bring somebody, to tell me about this
Okay, perfect.
drawing, but since I've been thinking about it, but
Okay.
honestly,
Fantastic. Well, that's what we're here
yes.
for.
Okay.
So basically, it looks like you have a decent amount of turf grass. I'm not
Yes, sir.
seeing any areas that look like they've died off or anything yet. Obviously, we haven't gone to the backyard or the sides of the house
That's
yet.
ugly over there.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But with what you have, at least in the front yard, I think once we get the weeds under control, we're going to be able to get that turf grass nice and healthy. So we shouldn't have to have too much work to get things to recover because it looks like you already have pretty good grass to start with. Now, with the weeds you do have, this will take us a few treatments to get under control on a consistent basis.
Okay.
Generally, it takes us 2 to 3 treatments to get things under control in a decently consistent way.
Yes, sir.
Now, sometimes it can take a little bit longer depending on how many weeds are on the lawn or if there's ever been any treatments in the past. But I would probably say right around that 3 treatments is right where we should be.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the grassy weeds that you're seeing that aren't part of the actual turf grass, those are going to be the longest to get rid of. We rely on a lot of the warmer springtime temperatures to kill those off because it is a winter weed.
Yes.
Now, we do spray some of this stuff, but it's only going to yellow it. So along with the treatments we do and with the mowing and the watering and everything else, warmer temperatures, we'll notice that die off. Probably right around May, going into June, there should be nothing left of those.
Okay.
Now, with today's treatment, any of the broadleaf weeds, so things that are like the purple weeds right there,
Yes, sir.
that's called henbit. That's a very typical winter weed, spring weed that we start to see. Dandelions, things like that, you'll notice die pretty quickly. So that's within that first 7 to 10 days, you'll notice most of those die off pretty quickly. So we'll get those under control really quick.
Yes, sir.
Now, for the treatment we're going to do today, this will be a pre-emergent. So this will help us prevent weeds as we go into the spring and summer.
Okay.
We also have a post-emergent mixed in that will help kill the weeds you have. The biggest thing you have to do is just make sure that the mowing and watering is done correctly.
Okay.
This treatment does need to be watered in at least twice within the next 7 to 10 days. So whatever 2 days a week they allow you to water for 15 minutes per zone for any stationary sprinkler heads you have. If you have anything that rotates, that would be basically double the amount of time because it's putting out less water because it's not stationary. So that would be 25 minutes per zone is usually what we recommend. So as long as you do that 2 times within the next week, that treatment will get watered in properly and you'll notice those weeds starting to die off pretty quick.
We can do that, yes.
After today's treatment, I would go ahead and mow after it's been watered in.
Yes, sir.
That's going to help kill these weeds a lot faster as well because the more weed that is there, the easier it is to metabolize anything that we've already put on it. So sometimes it can almost have an immunity depending on how much of the weed is available there. So mowing will help kill those a little bit faster. Now for flower beds, a lot of times we don't treat in those areas because any of our products could kill the plants and trees in those spots. Now, if you don't want to hand pull all of these weeds, you can do a vinegar-based spray if you want, or Roundup.
I buy some Roundup and I put it last night, a bunch of stuff over here.
Okay.
And I put some in the
original plan to try to get all the weeds out from
from
the little beds as well.
Right. And it might just be one of those things where you might have to do a little maintenance here and there as
Yes,
some of those start to come in. But as long as you've got some of that Roundup on hand, you can get those whenever you need. And it usually starts to die pretty quickly as the temperatures start to get a little bit warmer. You may have to come back in maybe another week and spray those again.
Okay.
And as long as, once you've come back once a week, it's all yellowed out, then you're good for a while.
Because we used some of these Roundup back in behind my fence over there in the alley,
Right.
and it's dead already.
Yeah.
It's jello, so it's pretty good stuff.
Right.
So-
And the reason why those probably died pretty
Yeah.
quickly versus these, this has a little bit more shade. That Roundup is heat activated,
Yes,
so
yes,
it works
yes.
better in the warmer temperature. So that's probably why this might be a little
I
bit
see.
slower than that area back
Well,
there.
we can put more
Yeah,
Roundup
how long ago
in
did
it.
you guys spray this?
Last night and this
Last
morning. Yes.
Okay, then I'd probably wait a week, see
Yeah.
how much is dying off. You might need to spray again after that.
Okay. I spent more than a gallon, but a gallon and a half, all the way from that corner this way. You know.
That
Well,
should be enough.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how it come up. You know.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, did you want to go to the side of the house or go towards
we
the
can
backyard?
go this way, senor,
Okay.
if it's okay to you.
Perfect. Absolutely. And with the St. Augustine grass, one thing that you could run into in the spring and fall when we have cooler nighttime temperatures
Yes, sir.
and we're getting a lot of rain, fungus can be something that can pop up.
Wow.
That can cause some damage. So as
Yes,
we
sir.
come out during those treatments, we will notify you if we find some of those things. We'll give you advice of how we can treat that for you, or if you
Okay.
want to treat that yourself, then we can always give you those that
Whatever. I
advice.
mean, whatever you. Over here is ugly. You can. I follow you.
Okay. Obviously, you have a lot of shade in these areas,
Yes,
so
sir.
it's not allowing grass to grow quite as well as some of the other areas on the lawn.
Yes, sir.
It might be something where once we get these weeds under control, you might want to use a more shade-tolerant grass.
I want to kill this because I want to put gravel, white gravel all the way
Okay.
around.
And I would definitely do that. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
these areas are always problems, and with it not having a water source.
See, look at that. I
Oh,
already
yeah.
killed that one. So I want to do the same with these
Okay.
and cover the whole thing with the. I even buy me a tarp. So I want to put it on there and put gravel, you know.
That's
about a 2-3
perfect.
inches gravel, the whole thing
Exactly.
over there.
And that's exactly what I do. As long as you've got that
Yes.
weed mat underneath there, it does
Yes.
help prevent some of that grass to growing back,
Yes, sir.
and it will prevent some of those
Hey,
weeds.
have a
And we will be able to treat those too. So if you have
Okay.
weeds popping up in those areas, as long as you don't have any plants or trees there, we'll treat those weeds as well. So that way you don't have the lawn looking great and then the rocks have some of those.
Okay, sir.
You have an okay amount of grass, and this might be an area where right here where it seems like you might drive on it occasionally.
Yeah.
That might have some rocks right along this area too.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
just because
It's
with
a
that
good
heavy
area.
foot traffic or just traffic in general,
Yeah.
it will always be thinner
to cover
bare.
the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Bro. Yeah, just leave
Absolutely.
that one over there.
And then everything else seems like it's fine. You have a lot of good turf grass over here.
Yes, sir.
So I don't see any reason why this area won't be successful moving forward. So you wouldn't have to do anything extra in this area as far as doing that hardscaping with the rocks. I think this will be fine. Now with that St. Augustine grass, you also want to make sure that you don't cut it too short. So I would
Okay.
keep it 3 inches tall all year long.
Okay.
Because basically that root system is going to be almost all above ground.
I see.
So if you're mowing it too short, it uses all of that leaf blade for that growth. So then you would be causing damage to that plant. So keeping it a little bit taller gives it more leaf blade for that photosynthesis when it's getting that light.
Okay.
So 3 inches tall all year round is what I would keep that. So when you go ahead and do that mowing, I would set that a little bit taller at that
Yes,
3
sir.
inches. And then that would just be where you would keep it all year round.
Okay.
And at least it keeps it easy for you because then you don't have to adjust it anytime
Yes, sir.
throughout the year.
Awesome.
And with this lawn analysis, you know, we will leave quotes for other services in case you need those or want those at any point. You know, once we start getting the weeds under control and we can kind of see the condition of the lawn, then we can advise as far as what additional treatments might foster the most amount of growth
Okay.
or benefit you the most long term.
Okay.
So we have, it looks like you probably had a little bit of Bermuda grass at one point. It's kind of hard to tell once again with the amount of weeds that you have back here, but whatever you do have,
Yes, sir.
we'll be able to get to start growing once we start, you know, warming up a little bit more. It looks like you've done pretty good trimming this tree as well.
We trimmed it last year. Yes.
Okay. And that's going to help a lot too. Anytime you can get more sunlight in these areas, you will get more overall growth. And this could be a good experiment to do. See how much of these areas recover.
Yes, sir.
And then that could eliminate the amount of money you have to spend on bringing in new sod for areas that won't recover because it has too much shade.
Yes, sir.
And obviously we can give you updates each time that we come out on how the lawn's doing and what to expect moving forward. We're out about every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
So we should be out, let's see here, what are we in? Almost April, May, June, somewhere around end of May, beginning of June. We should probably be back out for that next treatment.
Okay.
And if you have any questions in between treatments, feel free to give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions. If the office can't answer those questions, they will either give it to a manager or your lawn technician, and then we'll call you directly so that we can go over any of those issues.
We can do that, senor.
Now, a lot of stuff can happen in that 4 to 6 weeks in between treatments. So if you notice anything abnormal on your lawn, give us a call, because the faster we can come out and diagnose those problems, the easier it is to get that recovery.
Okay, I see.
And those are completely free for us to come out and check any of those issues. So diagnosis is completely free, because obviously, you know, the better the lawn is, everything's better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, are there any other questions or anything you might have?
No, sir.
on the
You
lawn?
already told me everything, so yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, I will finish up with our lawn analysis here.
Yes, sir.
I can leave this on the front door. As soon as I'm done, I will do the treatment. And with a lawn this size, the treatments go pretty quick. So we'll probably be in and out of here within maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, senor.
All right. Well, if you have any questions, just
No,
come out and
sir.
let me know while I'm still doing
You
this.
tell me what you need from me now. So,
Okay.
And I'm here to do whatever you need.
Okay, perfect. Well, it was great meeting you.
Nice to meet you.